Excuses are one of the greatest obstacles that stand between people and their goals. But the truth is that excuses only have power when routines are weak or inconsistent. To build a life of achievement, resilience, and growth, you must design routines that are stronger than the reasons your mind invents to stop you. Build routines that outlast excuses is more than a motivational idea. It is a principle of transformation. Success is not about occasional bursts of effort or moments of inspiration. It is about creating steady habits and rituals that carry you forward even when motivation fades, when distractions appear, or when doubt tries to whisper in your ear. A powerful routine acts as an anchor. It keeps you grounded when excuses try to sway you off course. Excuses often sound reasonable. I'm too tired. I'll do it tomorrow. The conditions aren't right. Or, I'm just not ready. These thoughts are universal, but they can only stop progress if they are allowed to. The strength of a routine is that it bypasses the need for decision-making in each moment. Once a habit is ingrained, you do it regardless of your mood, regardless of circumstances. Think of brushing your teeth. You do not debate it daily. It has become automatic. In the same way, routines of study, training, discipline, and effort can be built until they operate automatically, leaving no room for excuses to interfere. The power of routines lies in consistency. Excuses thrive in inconsistency. They find the gaps when discipline weakens. But when you build a routine and repeat it daily, you leave no open space for excuses to take root. Over time, this repetition strengthens your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who does the work no matter what. Identity is far stronger than temporary feelings, and when you shift from I try to I am, excuses lose their grip. A person who says, I am disciplined, I am consistent, I am committed, is far less likely to give in to the voice of avoidance. Excuses are often rooted in comfort. The human brain seeks to avoid discomfort and conserve energy, but growth demands the opposite. By building routines, you create structure that overrides the pull of comfort. For example, someone who establishes a morning exercise routine removes the option of negotiating with themselves each morning. It becomes a part of life, like eating or sleeping. Over time, this routine becomes easier than breaking it, and the excuses that once felt heavy lose their weight. The structure becomes stronger than the temptation to give in. Routines also create momentum. Excuses are most powerful when you are at rest, when you are stuck at the starting line. But once you are in motion, the energy of progress carries you forward. Routines eliminate the need to start over every time. They keep you in motion, building a continuous flow of action that is hard to interrupt. Momentum itself becomes a shield against excuses. It's far harder to stop a moving train than to push one that has never left the station. Excuses are temporary, but routines are enduring. Think of the student who studies daily at the same time, regardless of mood. Over weeks and months, knowledge builds steadily, and excuses have no chance to erase that progress. Or the writer who commits to writing a few pages each day. The routine ensures a book eventually emerges, while excuses would have kept the pages blank. Great achievements are rarely blocked by a single overwhelming excuse. They are usually prevented by the accumulation of small, repeated ones. Routines are the antidote to that quiet sabotage. Another strength of routines is that they simplify life. Excuses thrive in complexity, when choices feel overwhelming. But routines reduce decisions. You no longer ask, should I do this? But instead follow the system you have built. For example, if your routine is to prepare your meals ahead of time, you are not tempted by the excuse of being too busy to eat healthily. If your routine is to write every morning before checking your phone, you are not swayed by the excuse of distraction. Simplicity cuts off the paths where excuses normally sneak in. Building routines that outlast excuses is not about rigidity. It is about creating flexibility within structure. Life will always bring challenges, unexpected events, failures, or setbacks. Excuses will try to use these moments as justification for quitting. But if your routine is deeply ingrained, you will adapt rather than abandon. A strong routine doesn't break when tested. It bends and shifts to fit circumstances, but it continues to carry you forward. This is how people maintain progress for years while others quit after days. The greatest benefit of such routines is the freedom they provide. While excuses may seem to offer freedom from effort, responsibility, or discomfort, they actually trap you in stagnation and regret. Routines, though structured, create real freedom. Freedom from indecision, freedom from self-doubt, and freedom from the endless cycle of stopping and starting. By committing to a routine, you free yourself from the exhausting burden of excuses and open the path to long-term success. Courage also plays a role in building such routines. Excuses are comfortable. Routines require courage to establish. The early days are often the hardest because your old self clings to comfort. But each day you stick to your routine, you weaken the voice of excuses and strengthen the voice of discipline. Over time, what once required courage becomes second nature. The courage to begin builds the strength to continue, and consistency shapes your destiny. Ultimately, build routines that outlast excuses is a reminder that greatness does not come from what you do once in a while, but from what you do repeatedly, even when you don't feel like it. Excuses will always be there, whispering, waiting for you to give in. But if you build routines, steady, discipline daily, you will outlast them. You will rise above the temptation to quit and steadily move toward your vision. Progress will not be perfect, but it will be certain. And in the end, success does not come to those who never face excuses, but to those whose routines are too strong to be broken by them.